Hello, and welcome to Voices in Education. I am your host, Natasha Lee. Hello. Welcome to another live. And we're, I guess, here a bit earlier than usual, but because I realized that, a lot of persons want to say something about the races this morning. And I am hoping that you saw my update on the community tab there in the context of the time, right? So we saw some exciting performances, and I would definitely love to hear from some of the persons last evening, especially with that 100 meters run there in China. Again, this is a live conversation, so I would definitely love to hear from you. You can participate by phoning the WhatsApp number that you see on screen, and for sure, you can share away in the live chat. So as you join, please give this video a like, all right? Share with friends and family members. And if you're new to this space, welcome. This is a safe space where we can share and learn from each other, all right? I am still here trying to get my voice, but I have a voice, so I have my tea with me, and I am seeing you there, more genius. Welcome. All right, guys, so just share this live and, let's keep this conversation going. I would definitely love to hear from you in the context of takeaways. What are some of the takeaways from China? And what can we use from there in terms of moving forward to Paris, all right? So again, please remember to give this video a like and also share with friends and family members. Thank you for liking more genius. All right, so guys, I'm just going to go to some music and let us just give this live a few minutes to build, but for sure the line is still open. So I would love someone, even now, you can call and let us get this conversation going, all right? So for sure, I don't want to start you off. I'd love for someone to call and share, all right? So stay tuned. So someone, the line is open, you can definitely call. And in the meantime, I'll be playing some music and just waiting for someone to phone in or just get back to this conversation in the chat. Stay tuned. Come on in. Hello, and welcome. Hello and welcome. Welcome to another conversation. So, we want to have this conversation in the context of what happened there in China. So, what are some takeaways? And I really want you to match that with the expectations that you had last evening if you were on this live. And if not, that's totally okay. I would definitely love to hear from you in the context of performances. So the line is open, so don't be afraid to phone in. And as you enter this space, kindly give this video a like, just close the chat for a few seconds and, touch that thumbs up button. And also, if this is your first time here, please hit that subscription button as well. So let me just check to see if I am getting a call here. All right, not seeing one, but for sure, I believe we'll be hearing from someone soon. So please, the line is open. You can definitely phone in or you can share away in the live chat. So we're talking about what happened in China a couple of hours ago, I would say, right? And I guess if you would like, we can start with the 100 meters for men. What were your, did that meet your expectations or did it exceed your expectations? So for sure, I would definitely like to hear from you. I had some times last evening and based on the times for the 100, I'm sure I can say, based on what I heard, that what we saw this morning definitely exceeded our expectations. So we got times like 9.90, 9.99, 10 flat, and we saw some great things there in the 100, and especially in the context for Jamaica. What are your views as it relates to Kishane, Thompson? For sure, I would love to hear from you. So we saw Coleman with a real leading time of, I believe, 9.83. I'm just going to ensure that I bring that up, but I'm almost certain it was that time. And Thompson, 9.85. But again, let me double check that for you. All right, so definitely would love to hear from you. Yes, 9.83 and Thompson, 9.85. So the phone line is open and I would love to hear from you. And of course, there were other Jamaicans in that race. So Johan Blake, 10.04, Rowan Watson, 10.18, and unfortunately, Akeem had a little bit of accident there at the start. So I believe his time was like 25 point, something there. All right. You walked to the finish pretty much. So definitely love to hear from you. And as you know, Coleman took this one in 9.83 seconds. And I guess it's a joint for a leading time. All right, so what are some big takeaways? Would definitely love to hear from you. Go ahead, caller, you're live.
Good morning.
Hi, Ruben. How are you? Welcome to the conversation.
Thank you. How are you doing today?
Doing good. Doing good. I see some results that I like, so I am doing okay.
Okay, nice. Cool. I think the Jamaicans put in a decent performance. I didn't get to see all the races, but based on what you've shared, I think they did pretty well. I am a little bit disappointed in Johan. I was hoping that he could clock another sub 10 today, but that was the It's good to see him out there perform.
Right. So he did 10.04. He did 10.04 and was placed 6th. So in the number 6 spot there. So we had Coleman in number 1, Thompson number 2. So Coleman 9.83, Thompson 9.85, Curly 9.96, Carnes 10.01, Bracy Williams 10.02, Johan Blake 10.04, Jacobs 10.05, and Z 10.12, Watson 10.18. And as I mentioned earlier there about Akeem Blake having a bit of trouble there at the start. Not hearing
Yes,
you.
that was
Okay.
most unfortunate for Akeem. You know, getting out of the blocks is a challenge and a little situation. So I guess he didn't. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but you know, a few steps down, he was on the floor, and you know, not what he wanted. But what I was happy for though was that he completed the race, though not in the competition, but you know, just completed the race and you know, just to show that he is injured in any way or form. That was good to see. But you don't want him to be.
Well, I hope he's not. I hope he's not.
Well, for sure. But he looked pretty okay going on the track after that. So I'm hoping that as well.
So what did anything surprise you this morning?
Like I said, Akeem Blake not completing, that was a surprise. Johan Blake not going sub 10 or at least going to his 10 flat. That was also a surprise. The biggest surprise of them all was that run by Thompson in the 100 meters because he placed second in 9.85. That was a good run. And I'm thinking that with a better start, he could have easily passed Coleman, and he had a lot of top end speed. If you watch the race again, you could see how he ended that race. He was still motoring after he passed the finish line and he curled away and, you know, he had to stop himself with some advertising boards. So showed that he had some good momentum going. Probably got to his full speed a little bit late in the race. So, you know, I think his good potential going forward. And what I'm seeing is that there are a few Jamaican males that are starting to emerge, you know, just raising eyebrows, I guess, or, you know, putting up a finger and say, you know, I am here. When I say that, I'm talking about the likes of Blake, Thompson here, and we know we have Civil that's there. You know, a few other Jamaicans are in the race. I'm not remembering their names right now, but I'm thinking that there are a few guys that are
for sure. So I guess you're saying then it's a positive look for Jamaica. Perhaps it's something that is in the making.
Yes, that's definitely what I'm saying. That it's good to see some younger athletes coming through. You know, and make their name because I haven't heard much about them before.
By the way, if I am correct, I believe Thompson is a past student of Garvey Maceo High School. So if there are any Cubans on this live, just confirm for me, please.
So yeah, that was a strong one by him.
Yeah, for sure. So what are your takes on Parchment and Alloway? What are your takes on that one?
Well, you know, Pachi is the type of guy that you never rule out. He's the type of guy that you never rule out as young man. He has such determination. He has that, I don't know, he has that sense of being able to rise to the big occasions whenever necessary. So you never count him out, no matter what type of season he's having. And as it relates to that 110 meters hurdle, so difficult. Anything can happen. You just need to go up there with your best race. Because you see what happened to Broad in the World Championship. He hit the hurdle and he had the fastest time going in. So that meant he did progress to the finals. You have to just execute your races when you're a hurdler, and you execute well, then you will be among the winners. And that's what Archie has been doing for such a long time.
Yeah, and
He has
based on
been
the
delivering when it comes up.
for sure,
Right?
based on the information here, he did 12.96, and they're saying it's a season best.
Yeah. So if he's I guess even medaling at that silver medal at the world championship wasn't even his best race either. So you see what I'm talking about. He always finds it somewhere, and that's what I'm loving about him. Despite all the negatives or whatever is happening around him, all distraction, Broadwell, that could cause him to go into the shell a little bit, but he came through after that and delivered and made it to the finals and brought home a medal. So that's the kind of character that he's building up, one that is resilient, one that says never give up, one that says that the big occasions, these are mine and I'm going to be in. So, and to beat Holloway too, because based on what is happening in the world right now, you'd say Holloway and Broadwell are ahead of the rest of the pack. But he running this race and beating Holloway is truly amazing.
Okay, okay. Yeah. So I'm just checking in the chat here. Dane, welcome, welcome. Good morning, Dane. Good morning. Guys, as you enter, please give this live a like and help some persons who might not have their post notification turned on. All right, so just like the video. If you're new to the space, welcome. This is a safe space where we can share our views. It does not matter if your opinion is different from someone else's. Totally okay. This is a space where you can share. You have a voice in this space, and we'll definitely love to hear from you because you bring your uniqueness to the space, and with that uniqueness comes diversity, and there is so much richness in diversity that allow us to share and learn from each other. So again, welcome. We're talking about the races this morning there in China, and just wanting to know what are some takeaways you have from those events there, and expectations moving forward. I also need to share with you that the next stop, I believe, is in Brussels on September 8th. Yes, I believe that's the date there. And so I guess for some athletes, that's the final chance they have to qualify or to get into the finals in UG of the Diamond League. So welcome if you're just tuning in. Welcome to the Voices in Education, where we would definitely love to hear your voice. You can do so by phoning the WhatsApp number that you have, that you're seeing there on screen. I would definitely love to hear from you. Please just close the chat for a few seconds and give this video a like, all right? And again, if you're new to this space, please hit that subscription button. Ruren, back to you.
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, so I think overall a good performance by the Jamaican. I I didn't mention anything about the females. I think Clayton won the 400 hurdles, and the females have always been out representing us pretty well. So we have to say congratulations to her. And these athletes going around on the circuit, the experience is so good for them that it will help heal them. So when they get in, let's say, world championships or Olympics, that same sort of atmosphere is something that they're used to. Because crowd pressure and pressure is something as well. When you enter an arena or a stadium and you see thousands of people chanting and so on, we have to learn how to deal with that. So it's good that these guys are going around who these diamond leagues and earning their money, getting the experience that is needed, and also the grace is in as well. Because practicing with the best in the world can never hurt you. So it's good to see that the Jamaicans are still going out there and representing very well.
For sure. Yes, definitely. Good look there. And just to share with you some other results, and as you can see, some of the main events that we're talking about last evening. I'm just going to share that information with you. So as you know, with the 100 meters, it's Coleman, and we have Kishane Thompson of Jamaica doing very well in that one. Again, all right, so that's the 100. So in the 400 meters, men's 400 meter, Kirani James. All right, so Kirani James won that one of Grenada. So hello to all the people of Grenada. And if you're tuning in, let me know in the chat. Quincy Hall, USA, was in second, and Rasheen McDonald of Jamaica in the third position there. So that's the men's 400 meters. All right, so another event that we're talking about just now, of course, is the 110-meter hurdles. So the men's 110-meter hurdles, where we have Hansle Parchment taking this one, followed by Daniel Roberts and Grant Holloway of the USA. All right. And then another event that we were talking about is the women's 400 meters, and Paulino of Dominica taking that one. Then Candice McLeod of Jamaica. Then Lena Jackson, USA, and Sade Williams of Barbados coming in the number 4 spot there. So hello if you're tuned in from the USA. Hello if you're tuned in from Barbados. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're having a conversation about the results there earlier this morning, if you're not in China, obviously. And, Ruren is on the line and sharing. You can definitely phone the number that you see on screen to be a part of this conversation as well. And please give this live a like. And if this is your first time here, please let me know. And also hit that subscription button, all right? Let me see if I'm missing any of the other events that we were talking about. And perhaps not. I believe those are the big ones. Yeah, I believe those are the ones. Yeah, those events. So, Ja Sports Talk, big up family, big up to you. First time, awesome. Welcome, welcome, Ja Sports Talk. Love to have you here. And would definitely love to hear from you. if you'd like to phone that number that you see on screen, that WhatsApp number. All right, guys. So remember, please like the video so that persons who may not have their post notification on will get, will be able to come on over and also hit that subscription button. Do not be afraid to subscribe. You're safe in this space, and your views, your perspectives, opinions, or wonders are definitely welcome. All right, so Ruren, those were some of the names that we were talking about last evening.
Yeah, and I think guys came out and represented really, really well. What I need to highlight as well is that the Caribbean is getting a lot more, involved in this. When I say Caribbean, Jamaica is known for the sprints, but we have people like Juan, James, and a few others who are representing their countries very well. And as a region, we have a lot to be proud of, and hopefully we keep striving for excellence and moving from strength to strength. We have we have to show that we are here to stay and to be counted. And it's good to see the other countries coming along with Jamaica. I know that Jamaica has been the trendsetter in the Caribbean as relates to track and field. But as I said, we have some awesome athletes that are coming through from the other territories. The thing is, too, Jamaica, the Jamaicans that performed. I heard you mentioning that young Rashid McDonald, is it, from 400?
Rashid, yes.
Third. Rashid, yeah. Rashid McDonald. Yeah. It's good to see them going out there and performing. That's the greatest thing. These guys have worked hard, and it's good to see them getting some results from the track.
For sure. So if you're just tuning in, the WhatsApp number is on screen. Do not be afraid to phone in. We'll definitely love to hear from you. Even if you just want to call to say hello and share where you're calling from, that is totally okay too. If you're in the chat, let me know where you're tuned in from. All right, so you can definitely let me know where you're joining from if you're in the chat. So Antigua, Bahamas, Barbados, Guyana, Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, USA, Jamaica, Suriname, St. Lucia, UK. Let me know if you're here in the chat for sure. Let me know.
Especially just to add, I must say a warm welcome to Jobs Sports Talk. It's a big up family. Love the fact that you could join us here. And, as you rightly said, we are one family. So it's always good to have family members over for a chat. Welcome, and, hopefully we will hear from you, because we want to hear your voice, because your voice is special to us, and we want to hear your views and stuff. So welcome again.
Yeah, definitely. And again, please close the chat, for a few seconds and just hit that like button. All right, hit that like button. That is important too. So how did the hurdles go? So with the hurdles, answer Parchment, the 110 meter hurdles, answer Parchment got that in a season best, I believe, of 12.96. I just need to double check that, but Ansel got it. And I believe Roberts was in second, and then third position, Grant Holloway of the US. So Jamaica got that one, Ansel got that one. So yeah, that's what went on with the hurdles there in China. So thanks for asking that question there. Again, if you're just tuning in, welcome. Please remember to, hit the like button, subscribe if this is your first time here. All right, and I would love to hear from you. So call in. Don't be afraid to call the number that you see on screen. And again, we have other winners. So 400-meter hurdles, perhaps I did not mention that. Rushell Clayton did very well there, taking that one. As a matter of fact, the Jamaicans were first, second, and third in this one. So Rushell, Andrinette, and then Janive Russell in that order. So well done to the ladies there in the 400-meter hurdles. All right. So that went well. So I'm just checking
Yeah,
the
that's good to know that the females could have, they sweat that 400 meters hurdles. And those names have always been in and around the talks and the performances as it relates to the hurdles. You know, Clayton is doing really well, and the other girls are, still there pushing her, and that's always good. The competition is really healthy for good performances. So I'm just hoping that they'll continue to do their best and keep working.
yes, for sure, definitely. All right, so let me just double check the chat here. Not seeing any new comments. If you're just tuning in, welcome. Welcome to this conversation. All right, please remember to hit the like button. And if you're new to this space, welcome. This is a safe space where we can share our varying views, opinions, or perspectives. And for sure, we do that in a respectful way to ensure that we are maintaining our safe space. All right. Each of you bring your own voice. We do not always see things the same way based on our experience and knowledge. So with that comes, uniqueness, and that uniqueness contributes to diversity. There is so much richness with diversity that allows us to share and learn from each other. So again, welcome if this is your first time here. All right. Not seeing any new comments, but my race was really Kishane Thompson. And I mean, he did not win, but for me, it was a big winner. And this morning, because and given the conversation that we had last evening, Ruren, where there weren't a lot of expectations, right, in the context of the men, because from those conversations, just to kind of sum it up, we weren't expecting pretty much a time below. I'm just looking at the times that I wrote down from our conversation. A time below 9.90. So we got some good times. 9.83, 9.85. And for sure, I'm just going to pull up to see the times here again for the 100. Yeah, it was definitely a good run.
Yeah, that was a good run for real. It, as I said when we were conversing a bit earlier, it's good to see other persons coming and stepping up and saying, all right, putting in good performance. Whenever you have competition, you're gonna match yourself against competition, and it's okay. He's running his personal best is 10 flat. So if I'm going to beat him, then he performed at the best, then I need to at least run 9-9. 9-9. So it's kind of like that. So good performance builds the competition, and we want that for the males, and it's good that the males are represented, a little bit better. We saw where we had a little fall off, but a few guys are coming through and represent really well.
Yeah, so the top, so number one, number two, and the third positions, they were all sub 10. So
Yeah,
9.83, 9.85, 9.96.
yeah, and that 9.83, I think, is the world leading
Yes,
time for
it's
this
a
year.
joint world leading time, I believe. Yeah.
Giant world leading time, and so with Thompson running 200 of a second less than that, it's arguing well for him. It's just a shade of the best time that was run this year.
Yeah,
So
for
and
sure.
as we're saying that he has a good top end speed. As, even when he passed the line, he was still running, and the commentators even said that giving him another 5 meters or so, he would have won the race. So it's just for him to work on, I guess, pacing his race better so that he can execute more of his race with him at his top speed. But that was a amazing run from the young man, and I just wish him all the best. And I hope he keeps healthy and keep working on his craft because
Well,
obviously he's full of talent.
for sure, but you know what is my concern, and I guess this will develop over time just for these young athletes or the athletes coming on the scene now to manage the rounds, because I feel that's where, because going on the circuit, not doing rounds, you're able to just go there and run, right? So I feel like in terms of takeaways and just considering the trials and I guess leading up to the championships. For some of these young athletes, I feel like the rounds, like, managing the rounds and over time, I guess it will get better. So for me, that would be, something that I would encourage. I don't know how they'll do that, but again, they have coaches. I am not a coach, so I can't speak to that. But I feel like once these athletes are better able to manage the rounds, then I guess we'll see better results in those major championships.
I agree with you. And what I realized with sports in the recent past and currently is that it is moving away from just being on the field. So you might have the best talent, but your execution could cost your race. So I think there should be some psychological intervention, some strategic planning that takes place off the field. So, persons should be able to have seminars or workshops with these athletes. And, based on their running technique, their running style, they should be able to come up with the best way for them to manage their race. And as you mentioned, as well, manage the rounds. So, these conversations need to be had so that these athletes are better able to deal with situations when they get into these situations. So I am thinking that that's what really needs to happen. They should have these sort of professional developed sessions with the athletes, working with them, finding out strategies that match their technique and help them to be able to better execute their races.
Well, that's a good point. I can't speak to that whether or not those sessions are happening, and I hope they are, in the context of, developing, athletes in a wholesome way in terms of, mental and physical preparation. So I can't speak to those contexts, but, for sure, we would like to hope that those, contexts are happening. So I can't say that they aren't. All right, so I'm just looking here in the chat, and I am seeing Japanese sports talk. I'm so happy for Hansle. Nice to see him running into form. Ladies did well in the 400 women hurdles for sure. Japanese sports talk. Call us now. Call us, man. Let us talk. Call the number that you see on screen if you're able to. All right. So if you're just tuning in, welcome to this, chat. We're just having a conversation about, what happened there in China. And perhaps we will be back later this evening just to to further this conversation with some other folks who might not be able to join at this time, but for sure you're here, and we would love to hear your voice. So if you could just phone the number that you see on screen there, that would be good. Or if you feel more comfortable sharing the chat, that is totally okay as well. All right. So again, remember to just close the chat for a little bit and give this video a like. All right. And also, if you're new to this space, please hit that subscription button as well. All right. Yeah, so Ruren, so Japi here mentioned, that they're happy to see that Ansel is running into form. Do you believe that this can kind of, I guess, build this confidence going into Paris 2024?
Well, yes, definitely. It's always good for winning. And when you have the scalp of Holloway, when you're winning and beating an athlete like Holloway, you have to be, give yourself a pat on the back and say, well done. And the thing is with me and Hansle Parchment is that he always finds a way to come up with the big performances, and that has become an integral part of his repertoire. And like I will never ever write Hansel off because he's that sort of athlete that just knows what to do when in order to be on top. And it's so good to see that his times are going down. He's improving on his personal best, and his fitness is going well. I think he has taken a lot from the World Championships too, because he pretty much was an outsider in most persons' expectation, and he came through and won a silver medal there. And he's continuing to grow from strength to strength. That's really amazing from him that he's able to perform this well. And I'm going to pose this question to you and to our viewers. Do you think that we're getting better as it relates to the hurdles? I'm just looking at the results that we're having here, and comparing that with what we did. Well, adding that to what we did in the World Championships, and I want to hear persons weighing on this. Do you think that overall Jamaicans are improving on hurdling?
Well, that's a good question. So, guys, a question here. Do you believe that Jamaica is improving in the hurdles event? So you can phone in, you can share in the chat. Well, what I've seen, and I'll say, is that experience has a lot to do with this event, because you think about Parchment, you think about Williams, so I see that. And Tapa is there. We did not see Brittany Anderson, but we're hoping to see her back, and hopefully for Paris 2024. So hurdles tricky, obstacle race, because look at Broadbell. I mean, you can be, and even with Grant in the race earlier, he stumbled on a hurdle because he was out leading, because as we probably know by now, Ansel has a very sluggish, slow start, right? Out of the blocks. But hurdles, obstacle race, sometimes it's hard to definitively say, okay, you're going to do well. But for sure, we can see that, Jamaica is one of those, countries, that is going to be there, show up and show off, So that is, I like that. I like that for us. But again, hurdles can be challenging, because one mistake can just cost you, the entire race. So, but I feel that something is working good. What I've seen, I really like with Ansel and Danielle. So the consistency, that for me is important. So I feel that, as you would say, running races, and especially with, the best, can only improve your craft. And I feel that we're seeing some of that from the hurdlers. So I am extremely proud of Danielle, and I am extremely proud of Hansle. So Danielle, went to the championships, got gold, and then she went back there the other day in Switzerland and pretty much, repeated that to say, listen, it wasn't like a buck up kind of thing, I am here, I am still in this. And look, she wasn't from her heats in the semifinals. Remember, Tapa was in the Q room, if I'm remembering right, and she was pretty much the one who, took Tapa out in terms of moving forward to the finals. So I believe Daniel went on like, fastest loser kind of thing into the finals. So again, people were not particularly expecting a Daniel Williams to medal, much less get the gold. So, there were so many other big names there, like, the Kenny Harrison, you know, Jasmine, so Camacho Queen, Toby, so there were names. But, so what somebody pointed out, last evening, and, Kenny was like running some very fast times, in the qualifying rounds. And that, I guess might have, but again, might have whatever might have happened, we don't know. But for sure, what we know is that Danielle came and executed a good race, on the outside lane there. And she did very well. So, and what, again, as I said, just seeing her right off that performance going to Switzerland the other day on the circuit and just pretty much repeating that performance was very good to see. So for me, I feel that that is pretty much, increasing her confidence and, giving her that kind of solid footing to say that, I'm good. I can still do this. So for me, that is absolutely, wonderful to see. And similarly to Parchment, going there, in the World Championships, Holloway was on top, and to see him here again with Holloway and getting this win for me was also a wonderful in that context. And we know the caliber athletes that they are. And for me, my only little, expectation, I wanted to see Broadbell, but I'm not sure. I hope he is doing okay. All right. So that was my pretty much my only expectations there. But in the context of your question, I'll say it's a two-folded kind of question, because you can be so good like a Broadbell and just crash out. So we and I guess experience too, I believe, based on what I am observing, helps. So that's my response there. So again, guys, welcome to this conversation. If you're just tuning in, welcome to the Voices in Education, where you definitely have a voice you can share. And it does not matter if your views, opinions or perspectives are different. That is totally okay. Each of you bring your uniqueness to this space, and with that uniqueness comes diversity. And there is so much richness, with diversity, that allows us to share and learn from each other based on our experience and knowledge. All right, so if you're new to this space, share away in the chat, call me, even if you just want to say hello and you like the program, that's totally okay. Please, guys, please close the chat a little bit and give this video a like, right? And also, again, if you're new, welcome. And please remember to hit that subscription button. So, Rurian, back to you.
Yeah, I must say, I like the way you answered the question. The guys that have the experience and the hurdles seem to be, coming to the fore. And I agree with you on that one. But I would also think that there has been some improvement as it relates to the hurdling in Jamaica. We've seen a few more persons coming through and doing well. We still have people like Omar McLeod who has done well in the past, who is not here. And you mentioned a young lady who is probably out injured as well. So I'm thinking that, guys are still working hard and coming through. And I think, Jamaica seem to have a good hurdles program going on there. So hopefully these guys continue to strive and get better. One thing I can say though, as it relates to hurdles, it seems like hurdles have a lot to do with confidence. And you don't want to have any doubts in your mind when you're going down that track. So that you fall off your form and miss time and you the hurdle. So, these guys are doing well, and we just keep on supporting them so that they can continue doing well. Because it's not easy to be out there with all the expectations of a country on your shoulder, and your own expectations as well. Because I know these guys set themselves different targets to meet. So, it's good to see them going out and executing.
All right, let me just go to the chat here. So Japanese sports talk. Okay, I don't have the time to call, no, but loving the work and continue to highlight our athletes to 100% support. Thank you, Jappy. And Jappy is also saying here, yes, we're improving in all areas, to be honest. It's just on a given day, we may not get the best out of them. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, so for sure. So again, if you're just tuning in, you can call the number that you see on screen. Would definitely love to hear from you, or you can share in the live chat. I know that you might be listening and feel like, no, I can't call in, but for sure you can say hello, and let us know where you're tuned in from. Jappy Sports Talk, where are you tuning in from? You can let us know in the chat if you'd like to share, if you're comfortable sharing that information. All right, so I'm just checking. Let me check the phone line here. Not seeing any calls there.
Yeah, but let me just come in here. I love the way how Japanese sports responded to that question as well. That's a strong response. Yeah, they're not gonna always perform well on every day. We're expecting that as supporters, as sports fans, but they're not going to be performing their best every day. And I guess there is incremental improvement happening in all regards. And no new people are coming through in all the events. We're seeing, the likes of Alana Reed and the Twins. We know that they're in the background. They're coming to the fore. We see Forbes and Morris coming up to the 100 meters and so on. We still have people like Brianna. And persons are, doing their best, getting PBs and so on. So I guess holistically, we're having improvement as it relates to the performances that we have out there. And, sometimes we might be expecting too much, but it's just the nature of sports and, being a part. But when you're not as close as to the action where you know exactly what happened with the athlete, and, sometimes they're not doing well. For example, let's think about Sherita the other day. She wasn't feeling well the night before her diamond race, and she had to call in for some medical attention, but she still went out there and performed. She didn't get to run her best time, but maybe she wasn't even 100%. She's still representing, and that affects performance as well. So, we just have to keep supporting these guys and make sure that they know that we're behind them, and hopefully they will keep working hard so that we're able to have good performance.
Absolutely. So Japanese Port Stocks. I'm from Jamaica, but here in the British Virgin Islands. Okay. Hello, hello, hello to the people tuned in from BVI. All right. Welcome to the Voices in Education. So we have BVI here. Which other Caribbean country is in the live chat? So we know we have BVI. Which other Caribbean country is in the live chat? Let me know. Let me know. All right. Let me know where you're tuned in from. And so, as we know, I am going to check on the entry list. And again, guys, with the entry list, sometimes, going closer to the event, the list might be changing. So again, I'll post that information on the community tab as soon as possible so you can see athletes who will be participating on the next leg of the Diamond League there in Brussels. So I will post that information there, under the community tab of this channel. So please hit the subscription button and ensure that you turn on the post notification. So tap that bell, touch the bell and select all so that you get all the updates from this channel, all right? So once you do that, you will know when we go live. You will get, all the updates. So you want to ensure that you're doing that. And again, if you're just tuning in, welcome to this safe space. Welcome to the Voices in Education. This is a space where you can definitely share your views and perspectives. And it doesn't matter if they're different from perhaps the dominant ones being shared. That is totally okay. We do so in a respectful way just to ensure that we are protecting this space and keeping it safe, all right? So again, if you're just tuning in, welcome. Just close the chat for a few seconds. Yes, that little X at the top there. And just touch the thumbs up button, like the video, and also hit that subscription button. All right, so I'm just checking in the chat again, not seeing any further comments there, but for sure I know this conversation is going to I guess get a bit spicier later on, Nurian, when we'll have the likes of Mr. Portmore and Soji and others for sure tuning in. But I wanted to do this quick live just to get, I guess, share with persons what happened there in China, and persons were following up. So it was important for me to just come on and share. So again, if you'd like to phone in, the WhatsApp number is right there on screen. You can definitely call in. Would love to hear from you, or you can share in the live chat. Ryan, back to you.
Yeah, so yeah, I agree with you. Later will be greater for sure. And guys, if you haven't joined us in the evenings, we go live about 6:30, between 6:30 and 7. So anywhere between that time we'll be live. But once you have your post notification on, then you'll know exactly when we're going on. We have some really knowledgeable guests that comes on, share some invaluable information with us as it relates to track and field. And we're never ever, we don't know it all. And we have a community in which everyone comes and they share their bit. And we put all of that together. And when you leave one of these live shows, you leave feeling empowered because of the wealth of knowledge and experience that was shared. So if you have never joined us, then please make sure you have your post notifications on. Make sure that you subscribe, and so that you can join us and have that wonderful experience. As Natasha was saying earlier, don't be afraid to call in and share your views. A safe place. We respect your opinions and your views, and we will identify with you. We'll try to see things from your perspective. And as we said, diversity, difference in opinion we're going to add to the richness in the conversations that we will have. So don't be afraid to share your views. We want to hear from you. Whatever you have to say, we want to hear from you. And I will tell you this too. Sometimes the first time is the hardest. So just to take up that phone the first time I make that call in is going to be the hardest. But I'm sure once you've done that, it is something that you will have no regrets about. So please, if you have something to share it with us. Let us go through it. Let us analyze it. Let us see things from your perspective so that we can better understand where you're coming from and so that you can add to the wealth of knowledge that, you know, goes on right here on program.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for saying that, Rory, and well said there. So I'm just looking at Brussels and some of the main events, on the track. I'll just, and I'll post this information, I guess closer to the time because again, I said it can change. We'll have 4x100 men. So the 4x100 relay. So do you believe Jamaica should send a team to that? I would definitely love to hear from you. So we'll see long jump, high jump, and 400 meters women, 200 meters men, 100 meters women, and 400-meter hurdles women, and 200 meters women. We'll see that there, 400 meters men. So we have a few events there coming up in Brussels. And, given Jamaica and relays, do you think we should, send a relay team to that league there, to that circuit, that, the next stop on the circuit there? You can definitely let us know what your thoughts on that. Is there an athlete that you're open to see? Let us know. Would love to hear from you. Is there a particular athlete that you're open to see before the circuit ends? Let me know in the chat as well. Would love to hear from you. The chat is a bit quiet, Ryan.
Yeah, nobody's talking to us in the chat, but as I said, feel free to communicate with us with what you have on your mind in the chat. Tell us what was your favorite performance today. Tell us what you like about the athletics. Tell us your favorite events. Just be yourself in the chat if you want to call in. That would be awesome as well. We want to hear from you, so let us hear what you have to say. Your opinions are valued, right? So yeah, just tell us what do you think about that run by Hansle Parchment or that 400-meter hurdles run by Kate. What do you think about that second place finish by Thompson in the 100 meters hurdles behind Coleman? What do you think about his prospects going forward as it relates to the 100 meters sprinting? Do you think he will give Civil some, serious challenge? And is he the next big thing coming through from Jamaica? Because I can tell you that performance was a good one. I like what I saw, and I like how you see that Thompson displayed in that 100-meter race. And if you haven't seen that race yet, I'm going to ask you to try and find some highlights. Go and watch the race and come back and let us know. Tell us what you think about it.
Yeah, for sure. So, if you haven't seen the 100 meters men race there in China, you can watch. And when we talk later, you can share more about it. But you mentioned Thompson there. I really like his finish. It was very strong, very strong. He was coming and he was just out there. I think he was in lane 10. So, they were using 10 lanes, guys, in China. So there are 10 athletes, I believe. There are four from Jamaica, four from the US, and one from Italy and one from China. So he was in lane 10, I believe, and trust me, he did very well. Ira from Morris, welcome, welcome to the chat. And Ira from Morris is saying next year will be the year of Thompson. Colin, Ira from Morris would love to hear from you if you're able to phone in. The number is on screen. So next year, so I guess you're saying Thompson will be there in Paris and, creating a big upset. Would love to hear from you, Ira from Morris, and thanks for sharing in the chat there. So Coleman, let us talk. Let us talk. Colin, if you're able to. If you're just tuning in, welcome to this safe space. Just close the chat briefly and give this video a like. All right. If this is your first time here, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please hit that subscription button as well. So Ira from Morris, if you're able to phone in, that would be awesome. Would love to hear from you. So call the number that you see on screen there. Again, if you're just tuning in, please don't forget to like and subscribe and tell somebody about Voices in Education. So this is a space where we can share our voice on, issues, and we learn from each other, right? So by you sharing here, sharing your voice, we're able to learn from each other. Not always going to be sports, but I guess sports is the thing now, and schoolboy football is coming up. So we're definitely going to talk about, those contexts too. Manning Cup, the Costa Cup, and country versus town, Would definitely love to hear from you in that context as well. And how we can move forward as a people, takeaways, lessons that we can learn from even sports that we can apply to our everyday lives, there's so much, you can prepare for, you can prepare for things that you want to achieve in life, similar to how these athletes are preparing for, a win, a gold medal, and you just crash out with a hurdle. But the big thing is that, yes, we all perhaps in this life, experience failure. I believe we all experience failure. And so it's really how we react to it, because we can allow it to drown us or we can rise above, and bounce back. So it's also important, these athletes on the track, they're teaching us some life lessons too, they're teachers, and things do not always go as we plan, but that is okay. What are the lessons you're taking away from those, mistakes, mishaps? And again, mistakes should be learning opportunities. So we see athletes, getting better at their craft. So yeah, they made a mistake, they learn from it, and they're improving. And similarly, in our lives, we can, improve, learn from our mistakes, and move forward. What is in the past is already done. We cannot change it. We cannot go back in time to do anything about it. But for sure, we know that, tomorrow is coming, the future is there, so we can try and prepare for the future. And sometimes it doesn't matter how much of a preparation, you'll do, sometimes things will happen, right? But again, it's how you react, and you just go back to the process, take your lessons, move forward. All right, that is important, and give yourself space and grace. That's important too. All right, welcome, welcome. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about, what happened a few hours ago in China. So the event started about 6 a.m. Jamaica time. And, we saw some good, performances there. Hansle did very well. Paulino of, Dominica Republic, Rushell, Jamaica, and Coleman took it for the USA in that 100 meters run. We saw Kirani James there from Grenada, and also Kishane Thompson, doing very well right behind Coleman in that 100 meters run. So again, if you're just tuning in, welcome to this live conversation. You can share in this conversation by participating in the live chat, or you can call the WhatsApp number that is on screen right now. Would love to hear from you. So guys, as you come in, please give this video a like. Some persons do not have their post notification on, so it would be good if you could just like this video as well. Hit that subscription button if you're new to this space, all right? And please, feel free to participate in this conversation. We would love to hear from you, all right? So don't be afraid. We're a safe space. Even if you want to share about athletes that are not on my screen or talk about something else, for sure, I would love to hear from you. Definitely.
Yes, necessarily. And before you go, and sorry to cut you on you
No,
like
you
that,
came
but
in at a good point.
I
I can have a drink of water right now.
oh boy, I tell you, you know what I want to say. I want to say that if you're new to this channel, just give us a link up in the chat, or if you want to call in so that we can recognize you. We value each and every person that comes across this channel and participate. Either by texting in, calling in, or just by viewing. So we want to say thank you. So put your thing in the chat or call in so that we can give you a voices in education. Welcome to our channel. And I must say special big up to Irish Morris on his comments and for messaging in. He said that next year will be the year of Thompson. So, as I said, based on his performance, I am thinking that, he's going to be doing well. I love the way he ran. And if you have any other information as it relates to Thompson, you could share, because it seems like you are somebody who is, following Thompson as it relates to his running. And, that would be nice if you could share some more information. We don't know a lot about him, but what I saw today is an impressive performance. And, that time that he ran there, that 9.85 would put him on that medal. It put him in a strong point, a place for a medal if he had been at the World Championship. So, that is the word. It is just a few shades of the world. And I think he's worth following, because, he has been, performing pretty. That performance was really well done. Also, we in that race we had a few more Jamaicans. Blake fell out of the blocks for the persons who are just coming in.
That's
He
Akeem
didn't
Blake.
get a good start. Yes, Akeem Blake. Yeah, fell out of the blocks pretty much and didn't get to complete the race the way he wanted. And we saw somewhat of a return of Johan Blake. He ran that in that race as well. Didn't do as well as I expected him to do, because I wanted him to be, sub 10. He was 10.04.
Yeah.
10.04 in this race and finished, I think, sixth.
Yeah.
I think he finished sixth. So it's good to see him performing still, and hoping that he will improve his performances as things go forward. But yeah, just make sure that you hit us up so that we can recognize you, show you some appreciation. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe so that we are able to communicate in a more meaningful way. Make sure you put your post notification on so that whenever we have in these interesting discussions, you will be able to join in with us and and share your points. As I said, we have some really smart people, some people who are really knowledgeable here that comes here and share their views. And it doesn't matter what your view is, just come and you learn so much. If you love athletics or education and a whole, you'll find something that will, be of interest to you. So just come on over, subscribe, like the video so that we can, get some more of our friends involved in this. Make sure your post notification is on so that you can hear the contributions and also give your contributions as it relates to respective topics.
All right, so I see a comment here, a follow-up from Ira from Morris. He would have won the Jamaican trials, but he couldn't report for the final because of injuries. Thanks for sharing that, Ira from Morris.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point that we shared there because he based on what we're seeing from him, Ira from Morris. He has a good top end speed. And I'm going to point you guys out to this. I don't know how many persons have seen this, but sometimes the little things that we ignore, are very important. So that this is important to me. I don't know if it will be important to you, but if you watch the race again, when that race ended and he passed the finish line, he swerved off a bit to the right and he pretty much stopped himself on some I think advertising board. And I was saying that that was a good distance away from the finish line, and I was saying that he was still going in terms of the speed. So I'm thinking that if he can manage his race a little bit better, get that top end speed up by let's say about 40, 50 meters, and he can push through with that top end speed, then he should be contending or pushing some people as it relates to the 100-meter race. He has been doing really, really, as I said, based on what I've seen in this race, he looks to have what it takes to represent us well in the 100-meter race.
For sure. So yeah. And I think previous to this is time would have been 9.91. I believe, yeah, 9.91 seconds. So just getting, 9.85. So that's awesome. So I'm just looking at an article here just to follow up on, Ira Morris's point there in the chat. So in an interview with Sportsmax TV, Francis, and so this is Stephen Francis because Kishane is at MVP, explained, and I quote, "It was always a plan for him, that is Kishane Thompson, to focus this year on running one-round races. In his previous 2 years with us, he struggled with injuries, running only 4 100-meter races in that time and never participating in the national championships. Therefore, we decided that he should run one round here, deliver an impressive time, and then focus on competing in one races or one, in Europe. If he is required for relays, he will be available." So although Thompson's time was impressive, Francis stressed that it fell short of their expectations, attributing it to the organizers' incompetence. Okay, that's that. But okay, so yes, some injuries dealing with. So I refer Morris to saying Coach Francis will get him ready for next year. Okay, awesome. But yeah, and to just, support your point there, Ira, for Morris. So Francis is expressing confidence in Thompson's ability to achieve significantly faster times under optimal conditions. So this is what Francis said. I quote, he would have run significantly faster, but the most important thing is that he feels healthy and can look forward to the rest of the summer. We plan to ensure that next year, in the Olympic year, he will have the necessary racing experience and a different attitude to tackle the full program. So just there, supporting your point there, Ira for Morris. So thanks for sharing and bringing that up, bringing that to our attention. We really appreciate that. So yeah, for sure. So I guess Thompson in this context is definitely one to look out for. My namesake, definitely one to look out for. So, we see this time, and I guess, as Coach Francis is saying, they're pretty much managing the athlete in the context of injuries. And so they're preparing this athlete, Kishane Thompson, I guess, to peak at the right time. So Ira Morris, I want you to confirm. He's a past student from Garvey Maceo High School. Let me know, because that's what my brain is telling me, that Kishane Thompson is a past student from, Garvey Maceo. He's a Cuban. That's what they'll say. So I'll wait for that confirmation from you, Ira Morris. So this is good. So this is good news. And by the way, this article that I am reading from was, July 6, 2023. And this, Steve, I guess Francis was talking there at the National Senior and Junior Championships at the stadium. So not sure if Ira Morris is still here, but if you're in the chat.
No, that's
go ahead,
That's
Ruren.
an interesting article. That's an interesting article. I was listening to you read it, and a few things popped into my head. Stephen Francis has, been really successful with the female athletes. So, I'm wondering if this will be the person that will be most successful male athlete.
Remember, Asafa was there. Asafa was at MVP.
Asafa was with. Okay, cool.
Don't remember that.
It's good to see.
Man, you're not saying that Asafa is old, are you?
No, not at all. Pretty young man that is there. You're old as you feel, or you're young as you feel. So yeah, it's good to see that Stephen Francis is on top of things based on what he's saying in terms of managing him in terms of his injuries and so on, and making sure he gets whatever is necessary for him to do well. And sir, we have to give certain amount of kudos to Stephen, because he has been doing pretty well with the athletes. And remember when Elaine Thompson Hero was there, he managed her pretty well as it is for her injury, and in order to get her to peak at the right time as well. So I have no doubt that he will do the same for Thompson. But do you think that he'll bingo with Thompson again, because Elaine Thompson Hero did so well under Stephen Francis? I'm wondering if this is the new Thompson that will be doing well under Stephen Francis.
You know what I'll say? It's a Thompson era, okay? It's the era of the Thompsons.
That's right. That's cool.
Imagine, I am a Thompson, and he's a Thompson. Elaine is a Thompson. It's a Thompson era. So, guys, if you're just tuning in, welcome to this conversation. We're getting closer to the end, but we still have a few more minutes, and we would definitely love to hear from you. So please remember to just phone the WhatsApp number that is on screen, or participate in the live chat if you're more comfortable sharing there. But for sure, would definitely love to hear your voice. So call. The line is open. Call the number that you have on screen. Please close this chat briefly. So yes, just tap that X and ensure that you give this video a like. And also, if you're not yet subscribed, please remember to hit that subscription button. Remember, you are safe with Voices in Education, so you can definitely invest here, right? You won't lose your investment, all right? So you can bank on it, okay? You can put 1 million subscribers on it, all right? You're definitely safe with Voices in Education. Welcome to new subscribers, new viewers and listeners, returning viewers, listeners, and subscribers. Welcome back to this space. Definitely a safe one where we can continue to share and learn from each other. Rian, back to you.
Yeah, we'll always continue to share and learn from each other because this is definitely the space for it. And I must say special thanks to Ira for Morris for sharing those information as well about Thompson because that injury, I guess, hindered him from probably going to the world champs and participating and doing pretty well. So, this is the same thing that we're saying is that we don't have all the information, we don't know all the information, and that is why as a community, when we share these information that we have, we can come and have a better understanding of situations. And sometimes our reasoning, our understanding, our opinions are based on the limited information that we have or the little information that we have. And we're not able to get the best perspective out as it relates to issues. So we want each person to just contribute in your own way, call, text, or by just watching, liking, sharing, subscribing. Those things will help us to be a better channel, broader platform, and so that we can hear more views from other people. It's really good to see the kind of performance that the guys have put in today. It's not easy traveling around the world, and getting to the tracks, keep practicing and going out here to execute. So we have to commend them, whatever place they attain in a particular race. They should be commended. They should be commended rather because it's not an easy sport. Athletics is not an easy sport. So kudos to all the athletes that have gone out there and perform, and it's pretty much giving us something to talk about because this is something that we love. They love performing, we love to talk about it, and we love to hear your views on the respective topics. So feel free to hit us up. We would love to at least have a caller today. So let's see who's going to be our caller today. Just call in. Let us hear from you. Let us hear your views. If you just want to say hi to us, if you just want you to know that you love the program. If you're a new subscriber, let us know that as well in the chat. Give us a call in so that we can recognize you. We love to recognize our new subscribers. And, so we can give you that warm voices in welcome. So, guys, we totally appreciate you and looking forward to hearing from you.
Yes, for sure. So we have about another 10 minutes here. So if you'd like to phone in, the line is open. So for sure, would love to hear from you. If you'd like to continue to share in the chat, you can definitely do that as well. So let me just share with you some of the winners today in China earlier today, if you were able to watch those races, but for sure we got you covered. So let me just go back and share with you some of the results. All right. So as you know, for the 100 meters, Christian Coleman won that one, 9.83 seconds. Kishane Thompson of Jamaica, second, 9.85. Fred Curley, 9.96 in the third position there. We also had some other Jamaicans in this one. Johan Blake, 10.04, and Rowan Watson, 10.18. Akeem Blake ended in 25.13 seconds due to some challenges at the start. All right, so that's that one. In the 400 meters, I guess, from the Caribbean, we had Kirani James of Grenada and also Rasheen McDonald of Jamaica. So Kirani was in the number one spot and Rasheen McDonald in the third position there, with Quincy All in the second position of USA. All right, so we go down to the men's 110-meter hurdles, and we have Hansle Parchment in the number one spot, 12.96 season best. Then Daniel Roberts in the number two spot of USA. So of course, Hansle is of Jamaica, and Daniel Roberts of USA 13.03, and then Grant Holloway 13.12 in the third position. All right. Other winners or other persons that we had there included, and this is Paulina now from DR, and Candice McLeod of Jamaica. So Paulina was in the number one spot there in the women's 400 meters. Candice McLeod of Jamaica second, and Lena Jackson, USA, in the third position there. We also had Sade Williams of Barbados in the number 4 spot. All right. So Barbados, so the Caribbean represented, well there. Let me just go back to this list for you. I know I have one more race, at least one more to share with you, the 400-meter hurdles. So I'm just trying to get that information. So we had Jamaica pretty much in the top position. Number one, Rushell Clayton in the number one spot. Number two spot, Andrenette Knight. And in the third position, Genevieve Russell, all of Jamaica. All right. So all from Jamaica there in those positions. So athletes did very well. And for me, I'm just going to come back to you, Rurian, just to circle you before we close out here. Just to ask, and for you viewers and listeners too, and if you're listening or watching after the live ends, you can definitely share in the chat. What is your biggest highlight from China, Rurian? Or viewers, let me know in the chat, what is your biggest highlight?
Well, I think the guys did well in China. For me, I would have to give that to Thompson in the 100 meters. It wasn't something that was expected any at all from me. And, just the way that he executed his race, I think there's a lot of potential there. And I think the sky's the limit for him as it relates to his performances going forward. So I would give that to him. Special performance from Hansle as well, but Hansle does Hansle things, so he normally turns up. And the girls did awesome, really well this week at 400 meters hurdles. So those are the three main points. But as I said, second place finish of 9.85 by Thompson is the highlight of this China leg of the diamond.
Okay, so I was just going to ask, what is the number one? So I'm taking it that Thompson is the number one, in terms of the
Yes,
highlights. Awesome. So for me, I'm going to go with you on this one, Thompson. It's as I said, Thompson era. It's the
you sure it's not a name thing?
no, I'm going to go with Thompson, and just because it was not expected, as you mentioned, and so I am going to take Thompson this one. He wasn't the winner, but he did great in that context of that second position, the time, and as you said, how he finished. He was going fast there, so it shows me that he seemed to have that endurance. So that to me was, the highlight of China there. Ryan, I think you need to mute your mic. Yeah, so that for me was the highlight there, Thompson. So Thompson is the highlight for me, of from the China leg of the Diamond League circuit. All right, guys. If you're just tuning in, welcome, welcome. We're pretty much, wrapping up this conversation here. All right. We'll be on later this evening when, persons will share, will perhaps do a follow-up conversation to this one. And so again, ensure that you give this video a like. All right. Please like, and hit the subscription button. KJ, thank you for your comments. So good conversation. Like and subscribe, guys. All right, definitely. Thanks, KJ, for sharing that. So please, please like, and subscribe. Share this channel with someone you know. Check your devices and ensure that you are subscribed to the Voices in Education. Ensure that you turn on your post notification as well, and hit that touch that all selection, so that you don't miss any updates from this space. Ira from Morris is saying he was a revelation to the world. They will be talking about him now for sure, and we're going to talk about him later. I think we need to zoom in on Kishane Thompson. It's a Thompson era. Yes, for sure. It's the era, Thompson era. And so for sure, I would love to have a conversation, later this evening, zooming in on Kishane. And I know we have some persons who will be joining later who will have, I guess, more to share about Kishane. So Ira Morris, I would love for you to, be back. And also, Ira, I was asking earlier, but perhaps you missed that. Is he a past student of Garvey Massio? I guess you're laughing out at the Thompson era. It's a Thompson era. Okay. So let me know, Ira Morris. My brain is telling me that Kishane Thompson attended Garvey Massio High School, so he's a Cuban. So let me know, because this place too, we have a lot of persons from the Cuban Empire supporting Voices in Education. So let me know, because perhaps I need to hit up with Carlos and, find out what is happening. I feel, so Carlos, if you're on this live and you're listening, I guess you can also let me know. Or if, and you're here or you're listening after the live ends, you can definitely share. Not seeing any further updates there from Ira from Morris. But again, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for making it, Voices in Education, and for protecting our safe space here. really enjoyed the conversation and, hearing from you as always and sharing. So again, we're taking away some, things from this conversation. So for sure, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for
Not
tuning
just really,
in.
just before you end, I think you need to just let them know what time you'll be going live later so that they can, set their calendars and their phones to alarm so that they know exactly when you'll be on. I guess the notification will help as well.
Yeah, the notification does help, but I believe we'll be on at about 6:45 p.m. So you tune in at that time. I'm going to try and, set the link a bit earlier so that we can have that, up and running. And perhaps, as I said, zoom in on Kishane. Is it the Thompson era? And so for sure we'll definitely talk later more about China and Kishane. All right, guys, thanks again for tuning in. Thanks for all the comments in the chat, for all the likes, all the subscription, all your support. If you were just listening, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And we will see you later in the next live.
Just before you go, Natasha, let us, say thanks to Japanese sports star, Dane, more genius, and, KJ and Ira from Morris for, participating in the chat and sharing how they feel about stuff. Really appreciate your comments.
For sure. Thanks, everyone. And please stay tuned. Blessings and love. And we'll see you in the next live.
Remember to like, share, and subscribe to this channel so that you can listen to the different voices in education. Stay tuned.